Hi, it's Rod Young here, reporting from the chambers outside the Chambers Council. South Waikato District Council has just had its its Audit and Risk Committee meeting, chaired by, what was that guy's name? Saw in one of the letters here. Snellgrove. And what I found was interesting at that meeting today is the Chief Executive Officer had been requested by me to put a community board together. Spoke to one of the one of the staff who said, I don't need to worry about it. But before this CEO, Hobbs, I talked to CEO Hall about the same thing. He went to the same staff member who then said, oh, you don't need to worry about it. And he also didn't worry about it. So this time I took it to the Local Government Commission, and what I did was I asked for the Local Government Commission to abolish this council. If they're not going to give us a community board in Tokoroa, then let's amalgamate. Go with Matamata Piakau, but at the end of the day, the Mayor, the Chief Executive Officer, the staff and the elected members are a waste of time. And now we're starting to see the rebound of that, and they're taking it very seriously. So the Chief Executive Officer has become engaged, and what was interesting today was to sit and watch all the councillors absolutely taken out of their comfort zone and having to realise that it's serious. Having New South Wales spoken about where the average council is 100,000 population minimum, which is one of the interesting things. So we're 24,000 here in South Waikato, so 100,000 minimum is 4 times less. And what we heard in there is national government, if they get re-elected for a second term, they're going to stiffen things up. So we heard the CEO talking about water being sold off, so the council doesn't do that anymore, and it doesn't do roads anymore, and then what is it left? So for me it was wonderful to watch the councillors, who I went and saw one the other day, and it wasn't even bothered to talk to me, and there was a prime question when the chairperson of the meeting asked, are there any questions? He should have said, I've been approached by a member of the public, I'm interested to know about the special consultative procedure, a member of the public wants to start some processes happening and have the community engaged and the council engaged, and that system really needs to be in place, and what do we as councillors need to do when someone approaches us? He never asked that. Silence around the room, and so that's just one of the weaknesses that we're starting to see come to light. And the other thing that was interesting was to actually observe how we got some of the it was interesting to observe how professionalism of the staff has actually superseded the councillors, because there were 200 pet projects that were just, why are we doing these pet projects? And then there were certain members of the elected body who were going, oh, those are our pet projects, we can't scrap 200 of them, they were my friends, they're the ones that get me elected, those are the important ones, and can you please tell us which ones they are? And the guy said, well, break them into 3 groups. One, if you don't do them, your neck's broken. The second one, if you don't do them, you get a blood nose. Or the third one is you don't do them, you get a red face. How many red face stuff have we got there? There's so much stuff on. I looked at, for example, the plaza's 100% funded in Patauru. It's just so out there, whereas our pools are 20% user pays, and our kids can't afford to go and learn to swim, but we've got 100% theatre, which is completely outside of council's business, getting 100% paid. So our kids aren't learning to swim and not using the pools. And the plaza's sitting there and it's unutilised, and it gets 100% funding, and it gets grant funding. And so these are the things that are completely out of whack within our community. We can't get a community board, we can't get fundamental change, but then the councillors have these 215 pet projects. And so it was a very interesting meeting, because basically if we don't get it sorted out, it'll get amalgamated, and this building won't be the Chambers. We'll have to go to Taupo or Matamata, or maybe they'll come in here. Okay, so that's my blog from the